I want to show you an example now on the calculator how you go from average rate of change to instant rate of change. And hopefully you saw my previous video where I showed you how to, on the calculator, bring up the y1 function after you put your original function into y1. You can easily bring up recall any of these functions right here by going to vars on your calculator, VARS, and then go over to yvars, and then you want to pick the function variables. And you can actually bring up any one of the ones you have stored. So you can see, like on my screen, I did the average rate of change part using this little y1 thing. Now, what about, the instant rate of change? How do we find instant rate of change? You can actually do something very similar in your calculator to find this. And as you know, like, instant rate of change basically is found when, if you have that difference quotient where you have the h in it, your h becomes really, really small, or, taking the limit as h goes to 0 will give you the instant rate of change. A way you can kind of simulate that with your calculator is when you keep running this formula right here, you want the distance between your original, 4. We're trying to find the instant rate of change at 4. And then whatever other number we pick to be like a really small distance right there. So a lot of times I'll do the distance between 4.01 and 4. And, see what that's going to be. Of course, make sure you plug in 4.01 also in your y1 spot right there. So that's what we'll end up having, like something like this. And then we can see an even better idea, like what's this going to be. And then right here, when we got 32.4 when we were just going from 4 to 4.1, then 4 to 4.01 became 32.04. So it looks like as we get closer and closer and closer to 4, that instant rate of change is probably going to be 32. But I would highly suggest getting as close as you can, at least doing, a few of them so that you feel very, very confident that it's going to be 32. So I'm going to go ahead and insert in one last time another 0. So this time I'm doing 4.001 right here on, seeing how far, what this is going to be. So this is only, 0.001 away from 4. So that's what we're looking at right here. And then we get 32.004. So I feel pretty confident this is going to be 32 right here. But this is that kind of a quick way you can probably do instant rate of change on your calculator. You're just trying to make sure that distance from, the two values you're plugging in. So you're kind of doing average rate of change, but you're making that distance be really, really small. So you're kind of simulating taking the h to 0 in a way. Like h is just the difference between, the two values that you're using for average rate of change. So that's probably an easy way that you can do it right there. It doesn't really emphasize, doing it this way doesn't really emphasize using the difference quotient too much on the calculator, but it is an easy way to get a feel for it and calculate it rather than doing like maybe heavy algebra stuff.